Y'all, come on, come on, come on. Welcome, welcome. This is the 4th year. What? This is the 4th year of Blackoween. If you're like, I don't know what Blackoween is, sis, let us in. Let us in. Blackoween is a month-long celebration of Black authors who are writing crime fiction. It is mystery, thriller, horror, suspense, all of those things on this month of Blackoween. So Blackoween is different this year. I know you're like, Bree, what? Whatever you thought year 1, 2, and 3 was, it's gone. It's trash, finito, it's done, in the garbage. So let me tell you about what we're doing for Blackoween this year, and I hope that you can participate. So Blackoween is turning into a town. I know, it's giving city. It's giving city. It is turning to a town called Toulas Parish. Toulas Parish is a haunted love story to New Orleans, and it is something that I created or been creating for over a year now, and I'm just so excited that I'm able to talk to y'all about it. So in Toulas Parish, there is a lot happening, but I'm going to walk you through it because it can be a little bit confusing, and I don't want you to be confused about what's going on, right? In this next clip, I'm going to show you what Toulas Parish is, and I'm gonna have the lovely map of Toulas Parish be on the screen while I talk you through it. Blackoween is expanding to include a world with its first parish, Toulas Parish. The name Toulas Parish came from New Orleans and the cultural history behind the word. Toulas Parish is a place in Blackoween that focus on helping readers choose their roles and their journey. They choose their roles and journey according to Blackoween Toulas Parish decree, which I'm about to tell you about. So in Toulas Parish, there are 6 places. There is Bayou Haunted House, there is Ruby Crew, there is Laissez-Faire Streetcar, there's Joe's Library, there's Saint Treme Graveyard, and there is Noir Apothecary. You're probably like, okay, Bree, so you're telling me about these places. How do I even interact with Toulas Parish? Hold your horses. Hold them. It's coming. Let me first tell you about each of the places and the vibes, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty. The first place is the Bayou Haunted House. So at the Bayou Haunted House, it's giving spooky. It's giving a place where spiritual leaders will convene to kind of keep stuff balanced or to get rid of nasty stuff that's hanging around this house or hanging in this area. And it's all about just focusing on that house or the people that can cleanse this house. Ruby's Crew is a place where you can invite your family and your children to participate in Blackoween, specifically through Ruby's Crew. They can go all around Toulas Parish, but really at Ruby's Crew is where they will shine. At Ruby's Crew, this is a merry-go-round. This is giving children, but it's also giving spooky. So in Ruby's Crew, people are reading books that has to do with crime fiction. That's the whole readathon is about, but crime fiction, but specific to middle grade novels, graphic novels, and comic books. And Laissez-Faire Streetcar, that is where you go when you want to read crime fiction that has to do with time manipulation, different time zones, even using location as time, like maybe a book that's set in Ghana or a book that's set in Nigeria. Maybe the character is from multiple places, maybe the character speaks multiple languages. You're just thinking it's a time, so you can do the time manipulation as it pertains to you, but it will fit in that section, which is Laissez-Faire Streetcar. Really the time options, you can do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Not whatever, you know what I mean? Don't be like, oh, I'm reading a book and it's about Pinocchio. This is time. Don't waste my time. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, you know, I just gotta say what I gotta say. The next place in Toulas Parish is Joe's Library. It actually has a double meaning. So my friend don't know this, but I'm saying it now. So the double meaning to me is Joe is one of my fathers who passed away. He meant a lot to me, and I wanted to honor him in my journey with Toulas Parish. So I named the library after him, in addition to one of my best friends who also lost someone as well, and his name was Joe as well. So it's a double meaning to Joe's Library, and I'm so excited about this one. I think this is probably probably one of my favorite parts on Toulas Parish, because it takes us back. It takes us back in time, but not in time in the way that is related to the laissez-faire streetcar, right? With Joe's Library, this has to do with a lot of backlisted books. So I'll have a lot of prompts for you in the backlisted books. So the Saint Germain graveyard is where my horror and thriller lovers will be, okay? So this is where you're reading books that has to do with the really dark elements of crime fiction. Now, I don't read extreme horror, I think is what it's called, but if you find those books and you find Black authors who write them, go ahead. But this is where you want to read books where a deal was made. Somebody made a deal with somebody that they shouldn't have, and then things, you know, went bad. Something happened at night, maybe a dash of some ancestral knowledge, just different things like that. Just the darker versions of crime fiction is where you will be for Saint Germain Graveyard. Last but not least is the Noir Apothecary of Toulas Parish. This is where readers can go to really live their best cozy life. It's giving cozy, it's giving wellness, it's giving, you can also read some romance that has suspense or thriller or horror natures, right? Yeah. And as always, I created this part for readers who are like, Bree, I am not here for the stabby murder. I need softness, and this is what's giving you that. So in this next session of the video, I'm going to put up a little kind of like graphic to show you all of the prompts for each area, and I'm going to read them out to you. So for the Bayou Haunted House, I'm going to read books that's a possession story, a ghost of someone who resides over the house. There's also a haunted house set in the South prompt. There's also the prompt of reading a book that has the word house or mansion or estate in the title. Something that really gives me the idea that there's a structure there, you know what I mean? And then again, a book that has a medium or spiritual leader in it as well. So those are the 6 prompts for Bayou Haunted House. In Saint Germain Graveyard, again, you have a free space. You have a book with of the night vibes. That can be House of Hunter. That can be House of Hunger, Year of the Witching, Dark Corner by Brandon Massey. A book where a deal is made. It could be If I Only Knew by C.L. Polk, Trouble the Saints by Alea Don Johnson, those books. And a murder with multiple point of views. That can be the African Immortal series. It can be anything that you find. Next prompt is a horror / mystery book with body parts. So that can be even a thriller, just body parts was involved, right? It can be somebody was found without an arm, you know, something like that. And again, the last prompt is a book with ancestral knowledge. Now we're going to get to Noir Apothecary for our cozy girls or romance girlies who's like, ooh, too scared for it. You know what I mean? You're going to read a cozy mystery with a romance subplot, a cozy mystery with a food element, a cozy mystery with a pet, a cozy mystery with an amateur sleuth, a free space, which means, and I don't know if I explained the free space earlier enough, but the free space can just a cozy mystery, or just a thriller or mystery for, or just a horror for the Saint Germain Graveyard, or just a book that has a house in it or something like that. That's what the free space. It doesn't have to fit a prompt. It can just be a book you're reading. Now moving on to Ruby's Crew for the children. So the first prompt is a book that has a strong friendship. And the next prompt is root magic. The next prompt is a free space. The next prompt is a book set in the summer or spring. The next prompt is a book with a secret. And the next prompt is a book when a character gets infected. So that can be like Eden's Everdark. It could be Hide and Seeker. It can be The Undead Truth of Us. Those books would fit that prompt. So now for Joe's Library. So we're going to have a free space, a historical reference, a mystery book set in the 70s, mystery book set in the thousands, so like 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then a book with a musical element. And if you're like, I don't know a book with a musical element, it can be like Violin Conspiracy, it can be Joplin's Ghost, it can also be the African Immortal series by Tanana Reevedu. And last and not least, is the last place is the laissez-faire streetcar. So the prompts are a book with time jump, a book with an unreliable narrator or narrators, a black classic that is crime fiction. That could be any book by Paula Woods, that could be any book by Walter Mosley, The Conjure Man Dies, a book with traveling, like you're going somewhere, you can be on a train, you can be on just something, you're traveling. You can also kind of play with that prompt if you're doing other things on Toulas Parish, but we'll get there. And then the last prompt is a black author outside the US, and of course a free space. They all have free spaces. Another thing that I want to tell y'all is that we are bringing the group reads back. I know y'all were like, where them group reads at? Where them group reads at? But I had to bring them back. Now we're going to give you options like I did when I had them before last year. We're going to give you options. So for each 6 places in Toulas Parish, there will be a group read corresponding with it. Now, if you read the group read too, it will cover a lot of the prompts as well. So that is something to think about as well. For the Bayou Haunted House, which will be hosted by me, our group read is The Good House by Tananarive Due, and I will let y'all know of the dates as they come. I'm going to try to get the dates for all of the group reads to y'all at the end of September. If you see me looking, I'm reading because it's a lot of stuff for the readathon, so I want to make sure I tell y'all everything. For Ruby's Crew, the group read is The Dark 30 Southern Tales of the Supernatural. This will be hosted by Ashley on her channel Realm of Comics. I may join her as well, but that will be on YouTube. Mine will be on TikTok. So if you are on TikTok and you want to talk about the Bayou Haunted House, I'm going to have mine on TikTok because I do a lot of stuff on YouTube and I want to do some stuff on TikTok this year. For the Noir Apothecary, the group read is The Plot is Murder, and this book is by V.M. Burns, and this will be hosted on Alana. This will be hosted on Alana's channel, and I will join as well, and this will be on YouTube. For the Laissez-Faire Streetcar, this will be hosted by Brandy and Bree, and this book is The Dark Place by Brittney S. Lewis, and this will be hosted on YouTube. So for the Saint Germain Graveyard, the book is All the Sinners by S.A. Cosby, and it will be hosted on YouTube by Monet from Life as Monet. Then Joe's Library will be hosted by me and Erica, and it will be on YouTube on her channel, and the book is The Gilda Stories. So again, I'm going to try to get all those dates to you by the end of September. Now that I've told you all these things, you're probably like, okay, Bree, I know all these things. How do I engage with Toulas Parish? I want you to remember, choose your journey, choose your role. If you don't remember anything else, remember, choose your journey, choose your role. Choose your journey, choose your role. Choose your journey, choose your role. That is how you're going to engage with this readathon. We stated in detail what the prompts are, what the 6 places are, the vibe, what's happening. And I said the vibe so that you can understand what you need to choose for the free space. So in Toulas Parish, there are 6 places. The 6 places is the first thing that we talked about, which is choose your journey. So you're gonna choose how you're gonna interact with Toulas Parish. Let's say you say, I'm gonna choose the Bayou Haunted House. Okay, you chose to do the Bayou Haunted House. You can choose multiple areas, but we'll get to that at a little later on in this video. You chose Bayou Haunted House. Now that you have chosen the Bayou Haunted House, you must ask yourself, which of the 3 roles I'm gonna be. I can be the amateur share, I can be Detective Bontum, or I can be Investigator Thorough. So these are all 3 roles. So like I said, you choose your journey, you choose your role. So you chose your journey, which is Bayou Haunted House. Now you're like, I don't know which one I'm gonna choose. So if you're choosing the amateur share, that means you only have to do 1 to 2 prompts in that area. That means you only got to do 1 to 2 prompts in the Bayou Haunted House. If you choose Detective Bonton, you only need to do 3 to 4 prompts in that area. If you chose Investigator Thorough, that means you only need to do 5 to 6 prompts in that area. The goal of Toulas Parish is to be a map and a part of Blackoween that lasts for a few years. And the goal of each reader is to become the Grand Searcher of Toulas Parish. Okay, Bree, so how do we become the Grand Searcher of Toulas Parish? You become the Grand Searcher of Toulas Parish if you complete the role of Investigator Thorough in all 6 places. You're probably like, dang, I can't do that all in 1 year. You can. and you shouldn't try to do that either. Let's say this year you say, hey, I'm gonna do Bayou Haunted House, I'm gonna do St. Treme Graveyard, and I'm gonna do Joe's Library. So in Bayou Haunted House, you chose the role of Investigator Thorough, and then Joe's Library, you chose Investigator Thorough again. But then in another area, you chose Detective Bontemps. That just means that the next year when you do the readathon for Blackoween and it's underneath Toulas Parish again, only the areas in which you chose the role of Investigator Thorough will carry to the next year. And the reason why I have different roles, because I know that some people are like, look, I don't want to become the Grand Searcher of Toulas Parish. I just want to interact and do different roles or whatever. And I also wanted to have it with 3 different levels so that people can interact with it in any way that they can. Because even if you're Detective Bontemps and all of them, you did a great job. You know what I mean? Even if you did amateur share for all of them, you did a great job. But if you're trying to become the Grand Searcher, like that title, you must get Investigator Thorough in every area, all 6 of them. Only the Investigator Thorough roles can be transferred for years to come. Now if you're like, hey, I'm gonna do amateur Bontemps for everything, next year you'll have to start again. And not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm gonna start again. I'm gonna try to aim to be the Grand Searcher of Toulas Parish. I'm gonna do it slowly. This year I want to do Investigator Thorough of St. Treme Graveyard and Joe's Library and Noir Apothecary. I might do amateur share role in the other areas, if that makes sense. Now here we go. How do we choose the prompt? You don't choose the prompt, a dice choose the prompt. So let's say you're at Bayou Haunted House. I keep saying Bayou Haunted House so you know we can stick with each other. So you're doing Bayou Haunted House. You're gonna take your dice, 6-sided dice. You can also go online, Google dice, and hit the button and whatever number comes. 6-sided dice corresponds with the 6 prompts for each section in Toulas Parish. Bayou Haunted House, I roll the dice hits 3. If we go to the list that I showed you earlier, the 3rd prompt is a free space. That means any book that has the vibe of what I said earlier in this video fits. Use that, right? I roll the dice again, it's a 1. You need to read a book with a possession story. That's the 1st prompt. I roll the dice again, it's the 6th one. You need to read a book with a medium or spiritual leader. This means that the dice controls what prompts you use. So whatever role you choose, there's the amount of prompts that you do with each role. And whichever role you choose, that is how many times you roll the dice. So to recap, you choose your journey, you choose your role, you roll the dice. That is a 3rd one. Again, you choose your journey, you choose your role, you roll the dice. You choose your journey, you choose your role, you roll the dice. Okay, some clarifications for Toulas Parish. Number 1, there are a couple prompts in a couple area where time or traveling is happening. You can combine prompts. Another thing is to make sure that, you know, we add a little bit more difficulty in a way to Toulas Parish and interacting with Toulas Parish. Let's say you're like, okay, I'm gonna do Bayou Haunted House and I'm gonna do Joe's Library. Okay, now you got 4 books in Bayou Haunted House. Let's say you're going to interact with Toulas Parish in 3 different locations. You can only have book be double prompt for 2 locations at a time. If you have one book that fits all the prompts for 1 location, you can do that. Let's say you have all the books that fit all of the prompt in area 1. You can only use that book for 1 other area. So 1 book can only be used for 2 areas at a time, not 3, 4, 5, 6. Only 2 areas at a time. Another thing is, let's say you roll. You in Bayou Haunted House again. You roll a 3, you choose the 3rd prompt. You say, I don't like this prompt. You can re-roll only 1 time. If you choose to re-roll again, then you have to read a book from a TBR list that the host and I has come up with, adding to your TBR. So the penalty to re-roll for 2 or more times, adding books from our TBR to your reading list. Be very careful. So if you're like, hey, I'm gonna do amateur roll in all of them, just know if you re-roll more than 1, we will have to add a book from our list to yours. And the list is in the description box below. To make sure that everyone is having a good time, I created some things to help you. In the description box below, you're going to find links to a tracker. So that is where you're going to put in all the books that you're reading for Blackoween. There's another link that's going to be underneath it that is going to have recommendations. So as people are pouring in the books that they are finishing, you're going to also be able to see what those books are, so that now or even in the future, when you're trying to figure out how to interact with Toulas Parish, what books you want to read, it will all be ready and available to you. I will also have another document that I've been using over the years and been adding to, and other people have been helping me add to. That's going to have a bunch of just random recommendations, and you can use those books to kind of help guide you on which books you want to read in all 6 places in Toulas Parish. There's also going to be a Storygraph below. I was going to do a Goodreads, but I'm trying to like get away from Goodreads, so there will be a Storygraph challenge below. And also, if you're like, okay, well, where do I buy these books? I want to be promoting more independent bookstores. So I have a Bookshop shop below. You can click the link. It is over 200 or close to 200 books that I found that will fit every area, every prompt. I found them. You can go and look and buy those books there if you want, or buy them somewhere else. I do get a little bit of a commission, but I'm not, my feelings is not gonna be hurt if you don't buy a book there. It's just to show you what the books are. It's just another visual thing for you. Now it's time to tell you about the goodies for Blackoween. I'm gonna first start with the bonfire merch.
Hey y'all, just coming to pop in and talk to y'all about the bonfire. As you can see, we have one of my designs, which is Stories Where We Don't Die First. They're in several different colors. I tried my best to choose as many colors as possible, even for the sweatshirt as well. So as you can see as looking at this, there are multiple options available and ready. We also have the t-shirt, and the t-shirt, I put them in 2 different colors, like black words or white words, because some of the t-shirts didn't really show the letters like I wanted it to. So I had to go ahead and do them in 2 different colors. And then I thought, why not do like a crossword puzzle? And I have multiple colors, as you can see, of this one as well. And again, I thought that it showed better with certain colors, either with that black border, as you can see, or also this white border that you can see right here on this tote. I think this tote is going to be pretty popular. I myself is really trying not to buy two totes, but here we are. And again, this is the shirt, again, showing you of how it looks with the white bubble behind it. And I thought this one looked really cool in certain colors as well. And there are hoodies and shirts available, crew necks. I try to think like fall, or even if you wanted to wear something for the winter, and I had those available. And then I went back to the OG, is what I'm calling it, sweaters and t-shirts that we used last year, and I just updated it, added a few more colors, took some colors off. I even added pink at some point, so I have those colors available if you want to see them as well. And these are the t-shirts, showing you that they have them in the v-neck unisex tee, the classic long sleeve tee, the premium unisex tank, which I have 2 of and I love them. So not saying that you have to get those, but I found those to be really helpful for me at the gym, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, that's all for right now, so let's talk in the next clip. Bye!
Now that we've seen the bonfire merch, now we're going to talk about the Noir Apothecary wellness boxes. Last year, I sold so many of those boxes. This year, I don't have the energy, so it's only 20 boxes on sale this year. And you can find them on my Etsy in the description box below, but I'm also going to show you what they look like.
I'm so pumped to show y'all these boxes and all the time it took for me to create these boxes. As you can see, I showed you the T, the DNF is how I put me first, bookmark, the Noir Apothecary.
Now that you've seen what they look like, what do you think? Blackoween could have not been done just by myself. I got a team behind a team. So special shout out to Brittney from Melanin Eclectic for making this beautiful map. I just cannot believe you really came in the crutch. My back was against the wall and you really came through, so thank you for that.
So I wanted to give a shout out to Melanin Eclectic and just showing y'all what the website looked like, all the different things that you can see or things that you can buy. This is not everything, but if you're looking for stationery, please shop Melanin Eclectic and get on it today.
And now let's get into the hosts. Now the hosts will be on Twitch. There will be hosts on TikTok. There will be hosts on semi-Instagram, and there will be hosts on YouTube. So I'm going to tell you all the hosts names, and I will put a link to their social medias that they will be using for Blackoween. We will also have a bunch of sprints. I will give y'all the sprint calendar later on in September. We have Robin, we have Ray, we have Emma Ray, we have Helena, Sissy B Reading, we have Lee, we have Chanel, we have Bree, we have Books with Brandy, Erica, Ashley, and Monet. And this year we're bringing back Deidre from Shade Tree Reads. So there you have it, y'all. Blackoween done stepped up this year. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I know it was a little long, maybe even a little confusing. I also have a FAQ in the description box below, so if you're like, I have some questions about some things, it will be in the description box below because I may have forgot to say it. So I put just a bunch of questions that frequently asked questions, and a lot of the co-hosts helped me with those questions. Thank you. If there's a question that's not on the FAQ and that's also not said here, put it in the comment section and I will answer it. And then I will also share it on my community tab so that people can have access to that as well. So anyway, thank you so much. Let's have a beautiful October. I'll see y'all later. Bye.